Hi everyone, my name is Juliana and welcome to my channel. So today in this video I would like to show you how I take these shots and walk you through and show you how I achieve this entirely 3 different looks in one session. So firstly, I want to mention that I wanted to do a beauty shoot. So you see that the styling for the shoot was very intricate. I kind of spent some time to create it. I was inspired. For the look, I actually put my hair back, and obviously the center of attention was these beautiful pearls that I attach on my lid, and I also apply a lot of liquid highlighter all over my face so it will shine and sparkle just like a pearl itself. If you care to repeat this look, that I would like to mention that when you have highlighter all over your face, or just when you have all your face like a shiny texture or whatever, it really brings the texture a lot. So unless if you don't plan on edit your shots later diligently with frequency separation or maybe dodging and burning or some other editing techniques, maybe you will want to reconsider it. Every shiny surfaces, they really bring up the texture, so keep that in mind. So here is the set number 1. As you see, it's very simple. I use white background and I use my white V-flat as a background, and I use only one light, is my beauty dish, and it's just a bare beauty dish without any modification. So what I like about that is bare beauty dish actually give a lot of light and it's spread out a lot. For that reason, I get that nice, well-lit shot with a nice, well-lit background as well. And of course, I use my little reflector, so I would hold it just like that, and then I could pose it with my hands. On some other shots, I would just hold it as close as possible so it will not get into my shot, to make sure to soften all the shadows underneath. And that's pretty classic setup. So yes, this is basically it. So here's the image number 1, and this is your classic beauty shot. Very well lit, you can see all the details very nicely. There is really not that many shadows at all. It's all about nice, bright, crisp, really common lighting setup for any type of beauty or editorial or advertisement or commercial photography, because it just works very well and it's really flattering. And for the set number 2, it's actually all the same thing. The only difference is I took my grid. This is the grid, it's a honeycomb. As you see, it has a honeycomb texture to it, and I just applied beauty dish just like so, and yeah, that was the only difference. If you wonder, yes, of course, I use my reflector here as well. So here's the image number 2, and it has been taken with the exact same settings as the image number 1. I haven't changed a bit. The only thing that I change is I put a grid on my beauty dish, and I must say personally I love that a lot. I love that effect that the grid provides when you attach it to the beauty dish. And you can see on the picture that the background appears dark gray, but it's actually the white background that it was from the shot number 1 is the same. It's just because the grid narrows the light, really brings that darker shadows and highlights, and it creates way more contrast and it creates that dramatic effect. I personally a big fan of it and I use it quite often. I really like it. So whenever you photograph some type of texture or sparkles, I would really suggest you to look into the grid for a beauty dish or grid for whatever light source you're using. It really creates that beautiful contrast that I really like, and I think it defines the texture so well, so nice. And to me, it's a go-to when I photograph textures. So you can see, compare the image number 1 with the light inside number 1. You can really see that definition between highlights and shadows, and you can really see that sparkly texture on my face. Such a dramatic difference was achieved only with applying the grid on the honeycomb grid on my beauty dish. All the settings was the same. If you wonder what settings that was, I know some of you do. So I shot with ISO 500. My lens was at 78 millimeters. Aperture was 6.3. Okay, now mentioned here, and shutter was 1/25 of a second, which I usually shoot. Aperture was very low. That was a mistake on my part. I don't know how I missed it. Maybe it was the aperture from my previous shoot, and I guess I just forgot to change it. What comes to beauty, this aperture is too wide. And actually I lost a lot of nice shots because it was too shallow depth of field, because my shots was very tight, and a lot of times I had like one eye in focus and in another, and the other wasn't in the focus, or the lips wasn't in the focus, or whatever. It's just, it was too blurry for the beauty shot that I like that all crisp. I usually start, when I do tighter shots, with aperture 9 and higher, 11, maybe even sometimes 16. So that's what I would suggest to. 6.3 was a mistake on my part, and I've lost a lot of very, very nice shots. And also, for some reason, my camera for this shoot wasn't really focusing that well, so a lot of images surprisingly was very blurry. I don't know the reason for that, but also the one that was kind of semi-blurry, I counted to the quite shallow aperture for this particular type of shot, because shots was very, very tight already. So for the picture, for the image number 3, I just turn off my light and I've decided to use my window light. So here's the set number 3. As you see, first of all, I've changed my background. I've changed it from white to the neutral gray, and this one is actually my go-to background when I shoot with natural light. For the light itself, I just turn off my flashlight and I just use my window light. So I used it with, I didn't open it, I used my blinds a lot to diffuse the light. I actually like that effect way more. Also, sometimes I get the light get too bright through the windows, so my blinds help me a lot. But even when it's not, I just feel that the light gets softer and prettier when I use it with the blinds. So I use it this way, diffused, and I use my V-flat, white V-flat on the other side, on my left side, to create this nice, to soften the shadows and create nice highlight on my other side. Otherwise, I would get just the classic Rembrandt light. So Rembrandt light is light on one side, and on the face you can see that triangle. This is classic Rembrandt light. It's still a Rembrandt light, but much softer because I used my V-flat here. And of course, as for all other ones, I've chosen my smaller reflector as well, just to soften the shadows underneath as well. So as you see, it's a very, very simple one. Window light on my right, the V-flat, white V-flat on my left, close enough to give me that beautiful highlight, but obviously make sure that it's not in your shot, and the small reflector to soften the shadows underneath. And that's about it. And I like this set a lot for the natural light portraits. And for my shot number 3, I use natural light, which I love to use for my fine art portrait and the client portraits. That's what I use 98% of the time. I use natural light. The reason is because the effect of it it's so unique and specific, and you can see this three, when I put these three shots together, you see how different they are, and feel is so different, and it's just for changing the light. To me, whenever I use natural light, I feel that it does look more authentic, I would say. I don't mind to shoot portraits with artificial light. I know a lot of photographers do. There's nothing wrong with that, absolutely. I think it's the matter of preference and personal taste. It's just, to me, I feel it looks more, you feel more connection and kind of feel more real. I can't explain. I'm a big fan of natural light, especially when it comes to portrait. I feel they look more intimate in a way even. So yes, I shoot a lot of natural light when it comes to portrait, but I also like to show you that you can shoot beauty and fashion with natural light. It does look different. It doesn't have that bright and crisp artificial light feel to it, but it's really possible. And I think I've shot previously, I have videos on this channel that shows some beauty shots that I did with natural light. I definitely have them on my Instagram. They have different feel to them. I'm not saying that they look just the same. They look a little bit different, but if you don't have artificial light and you use natural light only, you still can shoot beauty and fashion. It will just have a little bit different feel to it. And as you see for this video, the reason why I've created to show you that light is a king for photography, obviously, and how easy, by manipulating light, you can create entirely different feel and mood and vibe for your images. It's all up to you and your creativity. I just decided to show you the difference so you can remember which one you like more and how to recreate it. By the way, please do let me know in the comments below, which look did you like the most? Is it look number 1? Is it look number 2 or look number 3? I'm really curious. And also, if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions for the upcoming videos, feel free to mention them in the comment section below as well. So I guess this is all for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed and find it useful. Thumbs up if you did, and share. It always helps a lot. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would love to see you here. And if you want to see more of my photography work, please do visit and follow me on Instagram. It's at julianachi_photo. And I really hope to see you next time. Bye!